Hello, I'm Mike and this is Will. We are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we're looking at issue 36 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine today. And this issue came with a Fungoid Cave-Shaman for the Forces of Destruction. And so you can see him in action in today's battle, or if be fighting over another magical ley line. But looking through the issue first, we have some background on Kragnos, the End of Empires. So Kragnos is a sort of deity of earthquakes and destruction, and sort of the physical embodiment of the savagery of the realm of beasts. And he has rallied the various Aurochs, Grots, Ogils and Gargants to his side as sort of the embodiment of everything they want to achieve. And he's an extremely powerful beast, an ancient beast that only the mightiest warriors would stand against. So there you can kind of get an idea of the scale of him. I think that's a little grot or something at the bottom, and then his huge model. He hails from the Age of Myth. I believe he's actually the last survivor of a race called the Drogrok, and was essentially worshipped as a god, but was defeated in combat and imprisoned by the Draconith Krondys and Karazai, although Alariel's Right of Life had the unintended effect of weakening his bonds and releasing him from imprisonment, and he had sieged the city of Sigmar Excelsis, although was eventually defeated through the combined efforts of Morathi and Lord Croak. We've learned about Morathi before. Lord Croak, I believe, we'll learn about in the future, no doubt. And then the background on the Blight City. So this is sort of the home capital city of the Skaven, and it resides in its own little dimension outside of the mortal realms. So the Skaven have found a way to create these gnaw holes, which are essentially sort of holes into alternate realities, or it's all very bizarre, and only a mind as insane as a Skaven could ever come up with something like this. It's obviously very dangerous. Sometimes Skaven will travel through the gnaw holes and end up in inhospitable lands, but it does allow them to attack places from unconventional areas, as opposed to just using the regular realm gates. And then we have background on the Great Horned Rat, the patron god of the Skaven, and much like his followers, it likes to use treachery and schemes to achieve its goals as opposed to just open warfare. So assassinations or unleashing plagues upon people or various other apparent disasters are orchestrated by the Skaven with a long-term goal of destroying civilization and leaving it so that eventually the Skaven will remerge from their gnaw holes and overrun all of reality. The Skaven don't worship the Great Horned Rat entirely out of pure devotion. It's also mostly out of fear and ambition and attempts to gain its favour to gain power for themselves. And then a battle record for the Fungoid Cave-Shaman. So these are sort of mystics of the Gloomspite Gitz. They often imbibe large amounts of mushrooms, particularly the death cap mushrooms, and this gives them strange visions, which they like to interpret as prophecies of Mork. And then, as usual, you can roll for his leadership style and other things, give him a name and so on, and great deeds. And they're obviously, like other shaman, similar to Zarbag, are powerful wizards at the very least. And then the build guide, it's a single model, it's fairly easy to put together, although it'll be reasonably complex to paint, and there aren't really any sub-assemblies you can use to make that easier. So you can see he's not too many parts. Maybe you have to be a little bit careful with his staff, make sure you don't bend it or anything. Then the painting guide, similar to the other Gloomspite Gitz, starting off with Abaddon Black this time for his robes, and then Lead Belcher for his sickle and his mask, and Avalon Sunset for some of the talismans of the Bad Moon he has on him, Gadgeran Flesh for any leather bits or wood. And then it's fairly similar to the other Gloomspite Gitz, going over there's lots of small details, so you do have to take your time, but it's going over things in various reds, blues, green for his flesh, Wraithbone, and then eventually you'll be using some washes. It has a little bit of jewellery you can use for Retributor armour on. Go and take your time, go over the mushrooms. You use Baronar Burgundy for the big one on his head, and you can pick out the other ones in red, or going over the base coating with white, so that then you can use the two contrast paints we've had, Gryph-Charger Grey for the ones on his body, and then the Gryph-Hound Orange for the mushrooms on his staff. And then going over with some Null and Agrit's Earthshade washes. And you can see him up to this point. Now I'll hand you over to Will. We have some more cool rules to learn and we can get into today's game.
In this issue we're continuing looking through the core rules. Now we learn about battalions, which are ways of organising certain units in your army to gain some benefit. There are two kinds, War Scroll battalions and core battalions. War Scroll battalions are usually specific to a particular faction, whereas core battalions can be used by any faction as long as they're available, and the War Scroll battalion or core battalion will explain exactly how it works and what rules you get for using it. I won't go over this in any great detail though, because we don't know whether the magazine will ever actually allow us to use battalions, possibly core battalions, but we'll go over those more in detail when they come up. So there's little bits here about the organisation of a battalion and the abilities you get for using it, which again will always be described in the battalion or war scroll in question. And over the page we have the 6 core battalions that all factions have access to, provided the battle pack you're using allows them. A battle pack is just a set of rules for playing a particular mission or battle plan. So we've got Warlord, Battle Regiment, Grand Battery, Vanguard, Linebreaker and Command Entourage. And the icons represent which units you need to take at a minimum, and then the maximum number of units that can be in the battalion as well in the slightly paler colours. And the icons there represent the ability you get for bringing that particular battalion. And these are all described here, but again I won't necessarily go over these unless the magazine actually gives us a mission where we're allowed to use core battalions. Now we have some more tactics for the destruction forces. This time we've got the killer boss with stab grot, so as usual pros and cons. Has a high damage output, quite dangerous to enemy heroes, and also his abilities allow you to mitigate some of the effects of battle shock by preventing more than one model from running away, but he is quite slow, low movement, so you need to deploy him correctly. And over the page, the Swampcaller Shaman with Pot Grot. Here's a high damage output for a wizard in melee, having several attacks and a Pot Grot and the ability to do mortal wounds. Also flexible by being able to hand out poisons and elixirs, but he's quite fragile, having a poor save characteristic as well, so you don't necessarily want him to be exposed. Now we have the War Scroll for our new Fungoid Cave-Shaman. Has a 5-inch move, 5 wounds, only a 6+ save and a bravery of 5, and 2 weapons. His own Moon Sickle, which has a 2-inch range, 3 attacks to hit on 3, wound on 4s with -1 rend and 2 damage. And he's accompanied by a Spore Squig, which attacks with Vicious Teeth, which have 2 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s, no rend, 1 damage. The Spore Squig is modelled on his base, it's not a separate model like some of the companions we've got, and it also has a special rule, which means that the Shaman is not visible to enemies more than 12 inches away. It also has a special rule called Mouthpiece of Mork, where it's on the battlefield at the start of your hero phase, you roll a dice, and on a 4+, you get an extra command point. The Deathcap Mushroom is a once per battle ability. If the unit is in a Gloomspite Gitz army, although the magazine tends to gloss over things like army faction, so it probably just expects us to be able to use it all the time. You use this in the hero phase, and if you do so, then the Shaman can attempt to cast an additional spell in that hero phase, but it must be from the Law of the Moon clans, which we will get in a future issue. And finally, he has his own special spell called Spore Maws, which has a casting value of 7 and a range of 6 inches, and every enemy unit within range suffers d6 mortal wounds if it's successfully cast. A tutorial on the back, firstly for the Deathcap Mushroom, and this is where it says that we will receive the Law of the Moon clans in a future issue. And then just a tutorial for the Spore Squig and the Spore Maws. Then on to this issue's game, where there are more ley lines around, and this time they've found a convergence of the ley lines, and both sides are trying to tap into the magical power that this affords. So for the Alliance of Order we have the Knight Arcanum, the Arch Revenant, 5 Vigilors, 5 Vindictors and the Stormstrike Chariot, whereas for the Alliance of Destruction we have the new Fungoid Cave-Shaman, a Killer Boss with Stab Grot, 20 Shooters, 10 Gut Rippers and the Marshcaller Sloggoth. Our battlefield looks like this, with our 2 battle mats. Territories are opposite quadrants of the board, touching in the middle, and objectives, one in the centre and then one in the centre of each of the 2 no man's land quadrants. Deploying as usual, using all the terrain pieces in this game. Player with the most victory points at the end of the 5th battle round is the winner, and those are scored 1 for controlling 1 objective, 1 for controlling 2 or more objectives, and 1 for controlling more objectives than the opponent. And the special rule for this game is Arcane Empowerment, which means that all wizards get +1 to casting rolls. Here's our battlefield set up. We've got the terrain down and the armies deployed, and you can see objectives 1, 2 and 3 across the centre, 1 in the top left, 3 in the bottom right, 2 in the middle. And we can look at the order deployment first. We've got the Chariot on the left flank, the Vindictors in the middle with the Knight Arcanum between them and the Vigilors, and then the Arch Revenant on the right hand side. I was deploying a unit second, and so I wanted to stay a little bit away from the Gut Rippers who deployed right in the middle of the board, just so hopefully to mean the first turn charge is less likely. Here is the destruction deployment.
Yeah, so I went for a fairly aggressive deployment since I deployed first. So I've got the Gut Rippers out front with the Killer Boss and the Sloggoth alongside them, and then the Grots in the back, the Shooters and the Fungoid Cave-Shaman, and the Killer Boss with my general as well.
Okay, the Knight Arcanum will be 9. And the Fungoid Cave-Shaman is called
Black Knot Definker. Yeah, my dirty trick's going to be Noisy Racket as usual.
And then we're rolling off for the first priority. I have won the roll-off, and I suppose I will go first in the first battle round, I think. So we're heading to order turn 1. Heroic actions. The Knight Arcanum succeeded at heroic leadership. The Killer Boss failed. And the Knight Arcanum is going to try and cast Mystic Shield, I think. Yeah, I guess it with a 9 thanks to the special rule from the mission.
Need a 10 to unbind. Oh yeah.
I was actually being a little bit cautious in the first battle round. Moved the chariot out to objective 1, but only just within 6 inches of it and staying a long way away for the moment. In the middle we've actually shuffled back slightly, with the Vigilors still in range, but the Vindictors protecting them, and the Knight Arcanum behind the little pool. And then the Archrevenant going over to objective 3, getting within 6 inches, but again, staying away for now. And in the shooting phase we'll do all-out attack on the Vigilors, and they're going to shoot at the Gut Rippers.
And we'll use all-out defence.
There'll be 11 shots hitting on 2s. They all hit. And winning on 3s.
4s, because of noisy racket.
And winning on 4s because of noisy rackets, so we've got only 4.
And there's 4 5+ saves. Made 1, so we'll lose 1 orc. Another takes a wound.
And we have 2 shots at them from the chariot as well. Hitting on 2s thanks to the Vigilors, yes, and wounding on 4s. 1.
5+ again. Nope. Wounded man dies as well.
Then the Gut Rippers have to take a battle shock test.
But I'm just going to spend a command point for insane bravery.
And then I score 3 victory points because I hold objectives 1 and 3, and that is more than the Destruction Forces hold. That was the end of my turn, so beyond the Destruction turn 1. So both generals generated a command point with heroic leadership.
Yep, but then the Shaman gives you another one on a 4+, because it's my hero. No. Shaman will try and cast Mystic Shield with a 12.
So I can't unbind that because of the bonus rule.
Yep. So Mystic Shield is going on the Gut Rippers, and then everyone else just moved up normally. The Sorgoth moved towards Objective 3, and that caused the Archrevenant to redeploy a bit. Morlek ran so that Kneebiter gets in range of Objective 3, so I should take that at the end of the turn. And then everyone else, the Grots just moved up normally behind, and I've got most of the shooters in range of the Archrevenant. I'll use Morlek's free command points to give them all-out attack.
Well, but she will issue all-out defence to herself.
So 23 shots from the shooters that are in range, hitting on 3s. 16 hits, wounding on 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
With all-out defence we've got a 3+ save. Ooh, failing 4. Down to 2 wounds, I think. So the Archrevenant is down to 2 wounds.
And then the Sloggoth will declare a charge. Needs a decent roll, like more than a 4. I'll re-roll that, because I might be able to take out the Archrevenant. 3, no. It's having a lazy day today. That's going to be it. I'm not going to bother. I can't charge with the Killer Boss, and the Gut Rippers are going to be miles away from anything. But I will take control of Objective 3 and 2, so I get 3 victory points as well.
But with that, we're on to Battle Round 2, so rolling off for priority. Well, I've rolled a 6. Since I had priority, I will go first, so order turn 2. In my hero phase, the Archrevenant is going to try and do heroic recovery. She's bravery 8, and we roll, an 8. So she therefore regains D3 wounds. 1. And the Knight Arcanum will try and cast Mystic Shield once again. Get it with an 8, thanks to the +1.
Try and bind, not with a 3.
Put that on the Vindictors. And then for my movement, the bulk of my infantry is moved up forward, so the Knight Arcanum is staying behind the Vigilors. The Archrevenant ran, rolled a decent number, getting all the way back over here. They're trying to take Objective 3 by herself, with only half wounds remaining. And the Chariot moved forward towards the Destruction Army. So on to the shooting phase, we'll do the Vigilors at the Gut Rippers again, and once again I'll issue all-out attack to them.
Issue all-out defence.
11 shots once again, 2s, they all hit again. Winning on 3s now because the noisy racket has ended, so we get 9.
So 9 4+ saves, because Mystic Shield will cancel out the Marshal Rend, and then we've got all-out defence. We failed 5, looks like.
The Chariot will shoot at them as well. 2s, yes, and 3s. 1.
4+, yes.
So on to the charge phase.
I'll put Scare Shields on the Vindictors, I'll try to. So there's 6 Gut Rippers, so I think I get +1 to this roll. Oh, well, 9 is enough anyway.
We'll charge with the Chariot first though, and it rolls an 8, which is enough to get it in, I think. So the Chariot will come in like this, getting within half an inch of the Gut Rippers, but within an inch of the Grots, so it can try and do some damage to them as it charges. Rolled an 8 for the charge roll, so mortal wounds on 4s, 8 dice. Oops, 6 mortal wounds to the Grots. And then the Vindictors will attempt to charge as well. They roll a 10. And the Vindictors finishing their charge like so. And I think I will pick them to go first. So I have 11 attacks on the Gut Rippers.
Using all their defence.
Hitting on 2s thanks to the Vigilors. No, we're hitting on 3s because the Vigilors help cancel out the scare shields. So therefore we get 8 hits. Therefore we get 4 mortal wounds and 4 normal hits. And normal hits wound on 3s. 3.
3, 4 plus saves. I made them all, so it's 4 damage. I'll do the Gut Rippers and they're going to attack the Vindictors, see if I can pick some off with mortal wounds. 9 attacks on 4, 6s on mortal wounds. That's 1 mortal wound and 5 hits. 1 mortal wound and 5 hits. These wound on 4s, getting 2 more.
But with a 2+ save though, because they've got Mystic Shield. Yeah, so we're fine, we just take mortal wound. And the Chariot is also going to attack the Gut Rippers. We've got 3 attacks from the Axe, hitting on 2s. Hitting on 3s because they are within an inch of the Grots with their net. But +1 from the Vigilors, so we've got 3 hits with 6s. And wounding on 3s. 2.
It's a -1, so 4 pluses again. Made them both.
And 6 attacks from the Griff Chargers again on 3s. And 5. And 3s. 4.
These are 5+ saves. Still made 2, so there's another one. I actually got 2 more hits because the Gut Rippers are +1 to hit from the Sloggoth. We've got 1 more wound on the Vindictors.
But I made the save.
So I'm actually going to not pile in the Grots, and the one guy in range missed, so we won't bother even showing the roll.
And that's the end of the fighting, therefore, so the Gut Rippers would have to take a battle shock test.
I'm going to auto-pass theirs and then roll for the Grots. So they're Bravery 4, I believe. So 6, and they lost 6, so they lose another 8, but it's all according to plan.
A lot of Grots run away, but it does mean they are now out of melee range, and then I don't manage to take Objective 2 because there are still too many destruction models in range of it. So I only get 1 victory point for holding 1 objective as we head into destruction turn 2. It's the Killer Boss's finest hour. The Arch Revenant regained another 2 wounds with heroic recovery. The Fungoid Cave-Shaman did not generate a command point once again.
Well, I am going to spend my command point to rally the Grot shooters. 14 dead, so I get them back on 6s. We got 3 back. And then the Shaman is going to try and cast Spore Maws. Needing a 7, he gets it with a 9.
And Ultron Unbind, needing a 10. Oh, I got it with a 10, so we don't get to see what it does.
So Moon Phase, the Gut Rippers are going to stay in combat. The Sloggoth and the 2 heroes have moved 3 inches away from any Stormcast. And then the Grots have moved towards Objective 3. The Grots will shoot the Chariot, might chip some wounds off it. 9 shots on 4s. And only 9 shots because there's less than 10 of them. 6 hits, wounding on 5s. We got 1.
3+ save. Oh, I did a wound.
Then in the charge phase, basically the Sloggoth, then the 2 heroes are going to charge. So we'll do the Killer Boss. He's in. We'll do the Sloggoth, who's just in, and the Shaman is in as well. Sloggoth comes around to attack the Vindictors. The Killer Boss goes into that gap so he can fight the Vindictors as well. The Shaman has to go into the Chariot. I'll pick the Killer Boss to fight first and he'll attack the Vindictors.
And they will issue all that defense to themselves.
So Morlek's got 4 attacks on 2s with his Boss Hacker. Getting 3. And then 2s. No mortal wounds. Oh, 3 wounds. Nice 1.
Yeah, we still have Mystic Shield on, so we're on 3s. Oh, we failed 2, so that's 4 damage. Well, no, actually 2s because I had Mystic Shield. I only had 2s because Mystic Shield and all that defense, but yeah, 2 1s, so that's 4 damage.
And then Knee Biter has 3 attacks on 3s. He gets mortal wound and 2 hits. Mortal wounds hit on 3s as well. 2 wounds.
Ooh. Again with 2s. Oh, another wound. So 5 wounds in total.
No, 6 damage.
There's 6 damage in total. I will do the remaining Vindictors before the Gut Rippers kill more of them. So they're going to attack the Gut Rippers with 5 attacks on 3s. 6 is 2 mortal wounds. A mortal wound, but only 1 other hit, which wounded.
Mystic Shield, so 6. Nope.
So 2 damage.
I'll do the Shaman next because the Sloggoth is definitely safe. Shaman's got 3 attacks with his sickle on 2s because he gets the +1 from the Sloggoth as well. Yep, they all hit. Wounding on 4s though. 2 wounds at -1.
This is on the Chariot, so we're on 4s. Fail 1.
So it takes 2. And then the Vicious Teeth from the Spore Squig on 3s. Oh, double 1s on this.
And the Chariot is going to attack back on the Cave-Shaman, and I'll roll its attacks together because with only a 6+ save, -1, -2 rend will be the same. So we're on 3s, because the net has gone. Only 5 hits on 3s, 4 wounds.
Oh, he lives!
He's alive with 1 wound.
That was a risky move. Gut Rippers are going to pile in around the Vindictors so they can attack the Chariot, see if we can chip off some more wounds. So 3s, 6s, Still no mortal wounds from them, so 3 hits, wound on 4s, nothing. So got the Soroth finally. I'll do the claws first because they're the big damage ones. So 4 attacks on 2s, they will hit, and 3s, 3 wounds -1.
With Mystic Shield and All Out Defense, we're still on 2s. Oh, just about made them.
And then the crew on 3s getting 3, and 4s getting 2.
We're going to run through 2s again. We're fine.
And that's the end of the combat phase, so I'll attempt to snatch the Vindictor Prime, because I can target the model, so I need to roll a 4+. Yes.
Yeah, it gets put on a net put over her head, and unpleasant things happen. So I'm going to spend my command point to make sure the last Vindictor does not run away, because I might be able to rally them later. The Gut Rippers did lose one, though, so they will have to make a test. And then Destruction side get 3 more victory points, because they hold 2 objectives still. So killing a lot of Vindictors means I hold on to the middle one. Now for battle round 3.
No.
Oh, I still won. Well, I better go first because it's starting to run out of mold. So on to turn 3. The Nartar Cannon generated a command point with heroic leadership.
And then it's going to be the Shaman's finest hour, because that +1 save might keep him alive.
And then we'll try and cast Blaze of the Heavens with the Nartar Cannon, needing to roll a 6 because I get +1. I do, I roll a 6. So that's a 7.
Each combined? Nope.
So D3 mortal wounds. I think I'll put this on the Gut Rippers, so D3 mortal wounds. 1. And in the movement phase, the lone Vindictor has fallen back. Hopefully we'll be able to rally him later. The Vigilors have moved up because they're going to need to get involved. Chariot will stay in melee. Nartar Cannon is following the Vigilors, and the Arch Revenant has moved back over towards Objective 3. I might be able to take it if she can kill some grots. In the shooting phase, we're going to shoot at the Slogoth. Need to start taking some wounds off it. 11 shots with the Vigilors, hitting on 3s. Only 5 hits, wounding on 3s. Only 2 wounds. Oh, and using the right defense as well.
Yeah, so 4+ saves. Made 1.
And the Chariot will shoot the Shaman, I think, just 'cause he's got 1 wound left. Try and finish him off. Only 1 hit. And a wound.
Oh, 6+. Yes!
Oh, so on to the charge phase. We'll do the Arch Revenant first. Got a long charge to make. Only rolls a 6. That will not be enough to get to the Grots, which is where I want her, so we're going to re-roll that. 9, that should be enough. Getting the Arch Revenant over to there, but then we won't declare a charge with the Vigilors because they're already on the central objective, so we don't need to get them in. We can do a little bit of damage in melee. So we'll be on to the combat phase, where I will pick the Chariot to go, and it is going to attack the... I'm going to put the Axe attacks on the Shaman, and the Griff Charges on the Killer Boss.
I'm doing all-out defense on the Shaman.
So Axes on 3s, or only 2, and 3s, or only 1.
So he's got a 5+. Oh.
No, Shaman goes down. And then 6 attacks from the Steeds on the Killer Boss, getting 5 hits. And 3s to wound. Oh, only 1. -2.
5+. Nope. Down to 4. I'll do the Grots because all my other units are going to be fine. So there's 8 knives and a net.
Oh no, I should have said I'd declare at the start of the fight phase, but the Arch Revenant can give herself an extra attack rather than 4+ ward.
So I do the net first. 3 on 3s. 2 hits from the net. Knife attacks on 4s. And on 4, so that's 6 in total. Wounding on 5s. 2.
With a 4+ save. Oh, we take a wound. And 4. So I'll do the Arch Revenant, so all I've got left. Do the Revenant's Glaive first. We've got 5 attacks because I used the ability. These are going to be hitting on 3s because I'm using +1 for all that attack, but then the net is -1. And they all hit. And wounding on 3s. 4, so that'll kill 4 because they're -2 rend. D3 from the Tail Pincers. Only 1, which is on a 4. We did. D3 on a 3. We did.
And there's the Gut Ripper boss and the Killer Boss on the Chariot. So I'll do the Gut Ripper boss first, just to get some mortal wound and 2 hits.
But I am using all out defense with a free command point from the Nartar Cannon.
Yep. 4s, no, just 1 mortal wound.
Yep.
Down to 8. 4 attacks with the Boss Hacker on 2s. 3 hits, wounding on 3s, getting 2 on 1.
3s with all out defense. Oh, takes 2 damage.
Down to Knee Biter, gets 2 ordinary hits. Got 2 wounds.
2s. Alright. That's the end of the fighting. The Grots will have to take a battle shock test.
I'll just auto pass it.
Yeah, and then I do manage to take control of objective 2, not 3, but the middle one I have more models on now, so I will gain another 3 victory points, going up to 7, and we'll be into destruction turn 3.
So Only movement is the Grots and the Gut Ripper boss are going to fall back out of range, and heroic actions and the heroic leadership for the Knight of Cannon succeeded and fell for the killer boss. No spellcasting because I foolishly charged the shaman into the chariot. The Sloggoth's going to stay where it is. No shooting because the Grots fell back. So in the charge phase, the Sloggoth will charge. 8 is enough. So the Sloggoth will go into all the Stormcast in the middle, but I'll pick the killer boss to go first. So 4 attacks with the boss hacker on 2s. Oh, we got mortal wound and 2 hits. And 2 wounds, -1.
4s. Oh.
4 damage.
Yeah.
And the biter. 2 hits. 4s. No wounds. It's down to 2.
I will do the Vigilors next. They can all pile in to get in range of the Sloggoth, and
the killer boss will issue all out defense to it. It also healed its wound in the hero phase.
So 10 attacks hitting on 3s. 7 hits wounding on 3s. Oh, only 3. That was 1.
4s. Me too, it's back down to 11. So the claws from the Sloggoth are going into the Vigilors, whereas the crew weapons are going to go into that one Vindictor.
I will use your all-out defense to the Vigilors. I might as well use that free command point.
So I'll do the attacks on the Vindictor. On 3s, they all hit. And 4s. 2.
2, 3 plus saves. Oh, he's alive.
The claws. 3 hits. 3s. 1 wound.
4 plus, which I failed, so that will kill a Vigilor. So I've just got all my stuff. We'll do the Lone Vindictor on the Sloggoth. Misses twice. The Knight Arcanum on the Sloggoth. Misses 3 times.
Blimey.
And the Chariot on the Killer Boss, and I'll use my remaining command point for all-out attack with this as well. So the Axe misses 3 times. No, the Axe hits once thanks to all-out attack. And doesn't wound.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And the Griff charges. Oh, they can hit things. Yeah, they all hit. 6 hits. 3s. Well, 3 wounds. It's better than everybody else. -2.
5s. Failed 2, he's down to 3. I'm going to try and snatch the Vigilor Prime, because if I do that, it's going to pull that unit out of coherency.
Yeah.
Still need a 4 plus. No.
No battle shock tests this turn necessary, because the Vigilors only lost 1, and we will be on to the next battle round. And the Destruction Forces score 1 victory point, because the middle objective is still held by the Stormcast. So we're rolling off for battle round 4. I rolled a 6, so therefore I get to choose. And I'll go first again, so all the turns. Not I can generate a command point with Heroic Leadership.
Yeah, I'm going to do Heroic Willpower because I don't have any wizards left.
Then we're trying to cast Arcane Bolt, which we get +1 on, so that succeeds with a 4 plus up to a 5.
Unbound.
Well, the only movement is the injured Vindictor is going to retreat again towards Objective 1 this time, because everything else kind of needs to stay in melee, otherwise I end up giving up the objective in the centre, or leave the killer boss free to go and do whatever he wants. So we'll do that, and then do some shooting. The Vigilors are going to shoot the Sloggoth first. I'm going to do all-out attack.
I'll use all-out defence.
There's only 9 shots because one's dead, and I've got 8 hits, which only wound 4 times.
4 pluses for the Sloggoth. Failed 2, it's down to 9.
And the Chariot will shoot at Killer Boss on 3s, so both hit. And 1 wound.
4 plus.
No. Charge phase, there's only 1 charge, which is the Arch Revenant going into the Grots again. Yes. So the Arch Revenant will give herself an extra attack with her Glaive. But I will pick the Chariot to fight first, and it's going to issue all-out attack. Using the free command point from the Knight Arcanum, or the
Killer Boss does all-out defence.
And then 3 attacks with the Axe, which will hit. And wound twice.
So 3s, failed 1, it's down to 1.
And the Griff charges hit 5 times, and wound 5 times.
4s, failed 3, so Knee Biter dies, yeah. Killer Boss is gone. So the net hits 3 times.
This is the Grots.
Yeah, the net hit 3 times from the Grots. And then 4 daggers. And 4s, getting 2 more, so that's 5 hits. 5s. 1.
With a 4 plus. Yeah, made it. Do the Vigilors on the Sloggoth. We have 8 attacks hitting on 2s because they shot at it. And 3s. 4 wounds.
5s. Made 1, it's down to 6. So Sloggoth's actually going to rotate. It's going to put its crew on the Chariot, and then its claw attacks on the Vigilors again.
And the Vigilors will issue all-out defense.
So on the Chariot, on 3s, getting 3. Really on 4s, getting 2. No rend.
Ooh, 1 damage. It's down to 1.
Claws, hit 3 times. Wound on 3s, getting 3 at -1.
And 4s with all-out defense. Oh, we lose 2 more Vigilors. I've got the Arch Revenant having 5 attacks with Glaive on 3s. So 3.
4s, isn't it?
Oh yeah, only 4s. Yeah, on 4s, so there's only 2 hits there. And no wounds. And the Spite gets 2 attacks, which hit once and wound once.
No rend, so 6+. Yes!
Oh, that doesn't take 2 damage. And the Knight Cannon was part into range of objective, but only manages to hit the Slog once.
No, you've got +1 to hit.
Actually, the 2s do hit because the Vigil shot at it, but we still don't manage any wounds.
And then finally I'll try and snatch the Vigil Prime again. No.
The Vigil's lost 2 members, so a 6. We'll see another one run away. No, that's not. But that's it. That is the end of the turn. So on to destruction turn 4.
I'm going to use my one remaining command point. I don't get one because my general's dead. I'm going to rally the Gut Rippers. 9 dead. Getting 1 back. Kind of needed more there. So rally Gut Ripper, 1 Gut Ripper, and then the Grot's going to fall back, and they sort of failed to heal.
And the Knight Cannon generates a command point.
So straight to the combat phase where the Sloggoth will do the same thing as last time, put the crew attacks into the chariot and the claw attacks into the Vigilors.
And I'll use my 1 command point. I'll use a command point for all-out defense on the Vigilors.
So 4 attacks on the chariot, on 3s getting 2, and 4s getting 1.
3+. Oh no!
Yes.
Chariot dies.
And the Vigilors hit 3 times, only on 3s, 3 wounds.
4s with all-out defense. Oh, I made all the saves.
Bang.
Vigilors striking back, hit 3 times, and get 2 wounds.
5s, made 1, it's down to 5.
And the Knight Arcanum hits once, and wounds.
That's 1, so 5s again. No.
D3, 1. And 4.
And I'll snatch the Vigil Prime again, hopefully. And then I will try and snatch the Vigil Prime again. Yes!
Yeah. Well, fortunately that Vindictor is still in range, so I do hold the objective. It's equal on number of models, since the Knight Arcanum and Sloggoth both count as 2. And it's the end of the battle round. So, battle round 5, we're rolling off. I've rolled a 1.
I haven't, I won!
So we're on to the destruction turn 5, I'm fairly sure.
So I'm going to spend my 1 command point I get for going first to rally the Gut Rippers again.
Yeah.
Getting another 1 back, well that'll have to do.
And the Knight Arcanum failed heroic leadership.
Any movement is the Gut Rippers are going to move towards that lone Vindictor. The Grots will shoot at the what do you call it, I suppose. Grot shooting at the Arch Revenant. 4 shots on 4s, 3 hits. Yeah, oh, sorry, 5 shots, but 3 hits. And 5s, ooh, a wound.
4+. Oh no, down to 3.
You get to do Scare Shields, so the Gut Rippers will use Scare Shields on that Vindictor. Nope, Bravery 8 with his banner. And then they're going to charge. 7 will be enough, I believe. So the Gut Rippers are going to go after that lone Vindictor. I'll pick the Sloggoth to go first, for the crew on the Vigil and the claws on the Knight Cannon. So the crew on 3s, getting 3 hits on the Vigil, and 4s, nothing. And the claws, 4 hits, 3s, 4 wounds, I might as well.
4s. Oh, the Knight Cannon is down to 2.
Yep.
The lone Vigilor is going to go, and we're going to issue all-out attack to it with the Knight Arcanum. 2 attacks hitting on 2s, 6s do mortal wound instead. Oh, double mortal
he's
wound.
mad.
Oh dear.
So the Gut Rippers are going to pile in around, so they're both on objective 1. See if we can poke that Vindictor to death. Oh, yep, 2 6s as well, so he's dead.
So just my models left. I can't issue any command abilities because I've only got 1 model that can issue them. That's within range. So the lone Vigilor gets a hit and wounds the Sloggoth.
4, 5+, no, it's down to 3.
And the Knight Arcanum gets 3 hits. Yeah, she hits on 3s.
Yeah.
Wounds on 4s. Nothing. So Destruction hold 2 objectives, going up to 11 victory points as we head into the order turn 5, the last turn of the game. Knight Arcanum failed heroic leadership, but we'll try Arcane Bolt, needing a 4 on the dice, getting a 5 on the dice, and no unbowings available. So she's within 3 inches of the Sloggoth, D3 mortal wounds. Oh well.
To show it, but the Gut Rippers had to take a battle test, and they rolled a 5, which is alright because only 1 of them runs away.
So movement in the middle, the Gut Ripper boss is in range of objective 2, so he will be able to move and contest it, but if I retreat with the 2 models so that they're still on objective 2, I'll still hold on to it, because they can't be killed now if I retreat. Objective 1 I can't get back. So it's actually all going to come down to the Arch Revenant, whether you can kill enough Grots to take objective 3. So we're going to move just within 3 inches and charge. The Arch Revenant made her charge, only needed 3, and then she'll issue all attack to herself and give herself an extra attack from her shield. So with the glaive, 5 attacks, which still managed to miss twice. 3 still wound, 3 wounds.
3 dead.
What? Need to kill one more with the pincer tail. It's 1 attack, which hits on a 4. No, it missed. Oh no. Right.
So I'll leave the net and the grot boss left. So 3 attacks from the net on 3s, or 1, and the slitter hits 2. Well, I can't kill her, but yeah, no wounds. So it's going to come down to Battle Shock to see whether I hold the objective, or I need to roll a 1 or a 2. No.
Oh, the grots run away. Yeah, so with that, the grots run away, leaving Order in control of objectives 2 and 3, just about though. That literally came down to final dice roll of the game. So yeah, it is an Order victory, although quite a Pyrrhic one. So we'll recap it for you now. So that was the quite long game from issue 36 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine. How did you think that went?
A bit disappointed to have lost. I think this is the 6th game in a row, but it did feel like a much more balanced game than some of the more recent ones. I think if I'd gone first in any of the battle rounds earlier than battle round 5, I think I would have been able to pull out a victory, actually.
Well, it was so close, it literally came down to the final dice roll of the game, so anything to swing it either way earlier.
Yeah, and that was pulling out a draw, but yeah. Yeah, I think you had the initiative, but you didn't just steamroll over me, it didn't feel like. Although you did kill a lot of grots and oryx, but the Slogoth just didn't die after much fighting.
Yeah, I felt like it was going pretty well for me when... Well, I mean, I won all the priority rolls, apart from the last one. But once I went into the Gut Rippers, squashed a load of grots with the chariot, and killed quite a few Gut Rippers, it felt like it was going well. But then the killer boss actually did quite a lot of damage. Killed, I think, 3 Vindictors. The Arch Revenant got shot up a bit and then failed to kill a load of grots, so then it started to go the other way.
Although I do think I made a mistake of charging the Shaman in. Although I guess I was kind of banking on winning one of the priority rolls. I was being very aggressive, and I think although it was pretty close for him surviving, to be honest.
Yeah, he made a couple of clutch saves as well.
But yeah, I should have kept him out and tried to use his spell. He was in basically the perfect position for it to do maximum damage.
Yeah, another thing that could have changed it is I rolled a 10 to unbind his spell when he was in the middle of... When he was at range of at least 2 units, so that were in D6 mortal wounds to both of them. +1 to spellcasting helped. I actually would have failed 2 casting rolls on weighing 1 less if I hadn't had the +1 to cast. And I kind of, being her usual not particularly competent self in this game, failing to do anything in melee pretty much. I think she got 1 wound through on the Slogoth.
Yeah, you got some pretty... And yeah, she did 1 with Arcane Bolt as well, so she had some bad damage rolls for her as well.
Yeah, yes, the hero's not really pulling their weight. The units did reasonably well. The chariot did actually quite a lot of damage in melee. The Vigilors did do well, they're just not really built for fighting a Slogoth in close combat.
Yeah, and I think there was a point where if I'd snatched the Vigilor Prime, it would have pulled them out of cohesion, and then you'd have lost another one, and that as well as another key point, I think, actually. Yeah,
and then not only would they have might have failed a battle shock test, but I would have had 2 fewer models on the objective. If you'd just actually been able to take that central objective for any one of the turns, so then it would have you would have had more victory points again. So yeah, I think the closest game we've had so far.
Probably in the entire collection. Certainly the closest for a while.
And certainly, I think it's the only game that's gone to turn 5. So, but the Cave-Shaman we can talk about a bit more. It's a shame we didn't get to see his spell because it's really quite dangerous if it goes off when there's a lot of stuff around.
And I don't think he generated me any extra command points, and I don't think I got heroic leadership for the entire game either, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, the extra command point is actually quite handy. It was a mistake to charge him into melee. He's not particularly good. He's too fragile, I think. But you can't see him from more than 12 away, so he's not going to be... It's quite hard to snipe him, and that probably will allow him to get in range to use his spell at least once. I imagine optimal positioning is required for him to get the most out of it. But again, he's an extra wizard. So we've got 3 destruction wizards to 1 stormcast wizard, which is a bit odd, seeing as we've got so many wizards with a stormcast in Mortal Realms. And we'll probably talk about his extra free spell once we actually learn Law of the Moon Clans. There are some useful spells in it, and being able to cast any, even ones he doesn't normally know, is pretty handy. I mean, it's a pretty interesting model again. Leans very heavily into the mushroom theme. It's actually growing out of his head.
Yes, it's more of the Warhammer sort of lunacy going on with that model. But I do like it. It's sort of sufficiently cartoony, but at the same time also quite dangerous looking. It doesn't comical, but definitely evil and dangerous. And of course, once again, good value for money because it's another one of the sort of £25 characters. Maybe he's a little bit less, but still you're getting him for at least half price, if not less. But anyway, I think that'll be it for this video and this episode, so let us know what you thought in the comments below. Let us know if you use a Fungoid Cave-Shaman in your Gloomspite Gitz army, and how well they do for you. If you enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.